If you're a Mannadium fan, if you're a high intensity combo fan, you want to stick around for this video. There are some genius, crazy tech ideas I've discovered. Some of them were apparently already in the VCS lore and others were not so much, but I still think we're pretty hidden. So I'm going to use both those tech cards to show you how to be Droll and Lockbird, how to be Super Polymerization. And you know, these two cards that I'm going to show you guys are surprisingly consistent. They feel like engine and they're just incredible. I'm definitely going to be playing Mannadium this version as well in the future. Going to get even stronger with each format. This Mannadium archetype still has a great way to beat the meta at the moment, so stick around, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I know I haven't uploaded a video in a while after YCS Bologna playing Mannadium in, unfortunately, the main event. Something super unfortunate happened. I submitted my deck list, but I forgot to include Primitive Planet Racophobia, which, as you know, is integral to the deck. But I still actually played the main event and I was able to steal quite a few rounds against some good players, which is hilarious. Just goes to show what you can still do with the right mindset going into a tournament. And want to shout out something possibly controversial, but I didn't play with the cards that I didn't put in my deck list. Apparently there was a live feature match where the same thing happened and all they got was a game loss with a Dingisu, I believe. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting to point out. I wish I could have played the Racophobia in my main deck, but it is what it is. I did have a go at this deck with the side events and I won some pretty good prizes, including a QCL Diabell Star, SP Lil Knight, and an Ultimate Rare Pure Lily. So not bad for failing to submit my deck list properly, but hey guys, that's okay because the theory worked for the deck. And I'm not going to waste any time, I'm going to get straight into it. We played broken cards like Clear New World, and with this deck profile, with the cards that I used to be Super Poly and Droll, they also happened to help me break boards going second, play through other disruptions going first. I played Light Kristya in the main deck and it worked out really well. It's actually what helped me win a lot of my main event rounds, just because I was Summon Kristya with 1 or 2 negates that stopped it from being popped. Give me protected from card effects and banished. It was hilarious. I think it performed really well. And I broke some pretty crazy boards, like a full max disruption and chain boards with this deck profile. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to start off with the monster lineup. And we're playing 3 Mannadium Realmheart. So this is of course the main starter of the deck. Decided to play 3 Visa Samsara. Now this card seems to still be controversial, and I think it is just a preference thing, is what I've just ended up agreeing with. You can play 1, you can play 3, you can play 2. Bottom line is, it's just great to shuffle your Visa Starfrost back into the deck so you can have another level 4 non-tuner or tuner to extend, and then of course help summon the Crimson Dragon into Vicious Shroud. And so this is just part of the monster lineup for the Mannadoms. I'm gonna let you guys take this all in. It's quite interesting. Everything is a 3 of. We even played 3 Rykart, which I was always playing at 2, which is why the last one is an ultra rare. Never expected I'd need the 3rd one, but there we go. But here we go, guys. This is the interesting card here, I guess you could say, is Clear New World and Veda Kalanta. And if you want a breakdown of all the other Mannadium cards, the way they work, the combos, feel free to check out my Mannadium playlist. We got a ton of things celebrating the deck. It's one of my favorite archetypes. Videos summoning every single heart boss monster, which I'm still proud of that I was able to do that in one combo. I find that pretty cool. But as far as this tech, this very exciting thing here, we can play through Droll, which is amazing. But most importantly, Clear New World 2 is out anything in the deck if you play your cards right. Now that does sound a bit whimsical, but I feel like it's actually legit, because how Clear New World works is you have a monster in the field, you can destroy it and special a monster from the deck with a lower level and a different type and attribute. Now that can seem a little bit weird. It did hit me that, for example, if they Nibiru you could destroy that token and bring out a Rykart. You can destroy that token and bring out a Kashtira monster. Its effects are negated, but the point is you found that missing piece. And what I noticed, especially with the Kashtira lineup, is every single Kashtira monster will guarantee you one of these guys. Most importantly, Visa Starfrost. Playing this deck going second, every opponent knows to stop Visa Starfrost himself. So the way we counteract that is playing Clear New World. And I just love that Veda Kalanta. If Visa Starfrost is on the field and he sees a monster being destroyed, he can special himself, which is a really strong bodies, level 8. He can pop another monster on the field if when he's on the field something gets popped, so even more OTK potential. He gains attack as well, but he also searches Clear New World from the deck or graveyard. So this feels like a really cool ratio here. And you can even Clear New World Veda Kalanta into Samsara. Another reason why Samsara is that last piece of the jigsaw puzzle. Mannadium Torrid stands out, but when we're scared of Droll and Lockbird, why not play that 4th card that helps us not have to worry about finding Mannadium meat, because Torrid is the 4th meat. So no regrets at all. I think I was playing 2 in the beginning because I really hated Droll and Lockbird, But yeah, I was really happy with just one of this. Another cool scenario was actually using the Amateur Pop on Torrid, triggering Calarium, bringing back the Torrid effect, bring back the Meek from the deck. Maybe there was one left. So I think there were a lot of versatilities to this card, and very underrated card as well. Sometimes all you're missing is actually popping the tuners. So Cleaning Bird was always clutch to bring out Droll Lockbird. So this is just a really good substitute, and just worked so well, guys. Like honestly, even the Racophobia searching Scarecrow Kashtira, summoning it, popping it with Cleaning World. I mean, this got ashed as well post-siding when people saw how good the card is. And my favorite thing about it was, yes, popping the Nibiru token and comboing off, because of course, Visa Starfrost, it doesn't matter if its effects are negated, you can just link it off into Lightheart and full combo. And again, that means Visas is in the grave for Vicious Shroud. We're playing 3 Rykart, by the way. I'll explain why in a little bit, as we do play a card that uses this as I guess its secondary use. I mean, I loved summoning a 1521 and inherently specialing a tuner. That felt really cool to do and caught a lot of players off guard as well, which is you'll have to see. So yeah, that was the monster lineup for the Mannadoms. Alright guys, so for this next engine that we're including as part of the package is of course our everyone's favorite Kashtira Fenrir, which can search Scarecrow Kashtira, which, you know, is full combo. And I think a lot of Mannadom players advertise it like that, but it's not really why you play it. You play it because Fenrir can win games. They can also search what starts the combo. Most importantly, this card can negate things without activating an effect, and I love that it does that. Still catches players off guard, which is really funny as well. There's a world where you play Scarecrow Kashtira with other Kashtiras and, you know, make Shangri-La, which is quite funny. And then the next thing I want to show, I don't know if I have space on the camera for this, is Shadow's Light, which I'm including in this part of the profile. For obvious reasons, you know, Shadow's Light, there we go guys, cat's out the bag. You can target Vicious Shroud, it's a dark level 8 fairy, special Kristya from the deck, which is a light level 8 fairy, and there you go. You can't be Nibiru, you can't be Super Polyed. Even if they would want to be, it might have been too late. You maybe summon the Baron. Point is, when this card touches the field, you win the duel. And you know, I was winning rounds against purely players, unchained players, you name it, without Racophobia in the main event, because I either hard drew Kristya and specialed it, which is extremely easy to do in this deck. Don't forget, SP Little Knight and Vicious Shroud are, you know, they can manipulate how many fairies are in grave anyway. So I never felt bad when I was hard drawing it. Maybe sometimes when I got disrupted, but it was well worth the risk. One more tech I forgot is Veda Kalanta can be tagged out with Shadow's Light into Visas Amritara. So there you go guys, one more tech I forgot, and another reason why you should play Shadow's Light. So, you know, people probably know what this card is. Joshua Schmidt won YCS Bologna using Duality. This is the counterpart to Duality, and in my opinion, the perfect card for Mannadium, because you can banish it from grave and get a second normal summon for a light or dark monster, which is generic. It's light or dark. Could even be a Bestial, which is just one tribute. But more importantly, your hand will have those 1521s in there. Sometimes they're stuck. Sometimes you have a normal summon and you have a Visa Starfrost in the hand. Tribute summon, get it on the field. You just want it on the field or grave for Vicious. And I feel like sacrificing my battle phase was, again, a happy drawback to have when you're just comboing off like crazy. At the end of the day, the way we OTK is with a negate board or just massive boss monsters. I mean, if you're really nervous, play it as a side deck package, it's absolutely fine. But I didn't want to get Super Poly game 1, which happened on the 3v3 on Friday, and then that's why I put it in the main deck for Saturday and Sunday. Honestly guys, really performed very, very well. More than often than not, even seeing one copy in hand, even seeing 2 copies, I could discard it for droplets. And then yeah, I could just, you know, see Rykart, special Realm Heart search, there's full combo. In the full combo, you'll see what, 3 Meeks, Trisukta, Vicious Shroud. If you're that nervous about that, you can even do things where you don't summon Trisukta, or you don't bring out the 3rd Meek, or you can do an SP Little Knight, banish the Trisukta, you're back to 3 fairies, then Vicious goes to grave for a single summon. That's 4 fairies. You hard summon Kristya. Chances are they can't do anything anyway against a Kristya, and nobody's prepared for it. So there we go guys, pretty interesting tech card that worked out extremely well, extremely consistent, and we'll definitely keep playing it in my main deck going forwards. Alright guys, let's go into the Mannadium Spells and Traps, 3 Mannadium Obsession. We are also going to be playing the 1 Mannadium Reframing in the main deck, 2 Scarecrow Rival and 2 Racophobia. This is, I want to say, pretty self-explanatory as well. You know what, I think it's just smart to have in the main deck. People had droplets, people had talents, and more often than not, those were the cards you were most scared of outside of Typhon and Super Poly. Every time I saw Imaginings, I felt great. I really want to run this card at 2 now. And even that grave effect, because we have a card like Crimson Dragon in the game, it's a level 12, Vicious is level 8. With Crushing, you can get a level 4 monster in the field. Banish Imaginings, turn it into a level 4 tuner. there's your Crimson Dragon, target Baron, there's your Beast with Dispel. I feel like I saw that line too often as well. So maybe Imagine gets pushed to 2. Position, I mean, you know, pulse siding, you can take one out. Plays into draw really badly, so you can always take one out. That's kind of why I did pulse siding. Also took out terraforming and reinforcement of the army. Hard draw one of them, knowing that that's going to help me extend into another synchro. Racophobia is amazing. This is our skill drain popper, back row popper, the best card you want to see. And last but not least, going to wrap up with some of the power spells, broken power spells, whatever you want to call them. And so I ended up on 2 droplets, which I'm still a little bit strange about. I think you should go to 3, to be honest, just because of cards like Shadow's Light, which you don't mind sending into the graveyard for that second normal summon, which players will never expect. But also, you know, this is your only out to anything they play. Because this deck is hyper combo, you can get away with no hand traps. If anything, I think enemy controller should be here with droplets. And I get it. I mean, it's a hyper combo deck. You know, who cares about hand traps when you can just enemy controller still resolve your effect, or best yet, droplets. You know, use droplets in the mirror match. I believe I summoned Kristya in the mirror match. They did droplets. Game 3, I summoned Kristya. They did droplets. And, you know, if someone does resolve that, chances are they may just beat you. So I think this card is very, very powerful. And I believe I should be playing it at 3, but I was a bit worried about seeing it too much. Just, you know, want to be more consistent, essentially. So guys, that was the main deck. If I was to change one thing, I would also add one more triple tactics talent. That was always what I used to do with this deck going in the past, and I think I'm just going to stick to my guns and keep 3 triple tactics talent, just like the name says. I mean, it's a hyper combo deck. Go hyper with the aggression, with the defensive capabilities of talents, droplets. And I think that's just a recipe to success. Let's move on to the extra deck though. This part I'm very excited to do with you guys. And we're starting off strong with Mannadium Monsters. We're playing YCS Amritara. Borrowlord Savage Dragon was the, I guess, unique synchro that I was playing in the extra deck. Gimme, Agerine, Baron de Fleur, Bestial Dispar, and Crimson Dragon. This was my synchro lineup. I want to say all of this is standard. You should never change it except for these 2. And after playing in the main event, you know, side events, whatever, no matter how well I did and no matter how many boards I broke, even though it's nice to see Crimson Dragon tag out Amritara for a Borrowlord Savage and equip from the graveyard for negates, I'm going to take out Borrowlord Savage in the future. I think this card should be something more unique and is going to make the opponent have a more difficult time rather than just another negate. Then again, this deck loses to mostly spell and trap cards, so maybe Savage is the way to play. If you see Samsara, it makes a lot more sense. If you don't, it doesn't make as much sense. So for that reason, I think I will take it out maybe for a 3rd Vicious if I'm going to go into them so much for the Kristya combo. Definitely going to keep Gimme Agerine. I mean, you know, if you can protect Kristya, it's going to be quite hard to take that card out with your negate setup as well. But more importantly, you know, we're in a semi-runic format, mostly Unchained. Fire King stuff is getting more popular. I mean, I just think Gimme is one of the best cards to play right now. Most importantly, you just use it to take out field spells, which I'm more than happy to do. You can also banish copies of cards, which doesn't come up too much, but will make an impact when it does. For example, hitting a Shalvara, get rid of all the Shalvaras, you love to see it. And most importantly, in the branded match, which branded is getting quite popular again, we've got to respect the deck. This card is anti-Mirror Jade, so it will always come back from the graveyard, which is very annoying. Even Kashtira is quite popular as well. So, I mean, this worked for me flawlessly. Next up is just 2 Vicious Astride. Scareclaw, Lightheart, still playing the 2 of Crush Sheep, SP, Appaloosa, and Access Code, the boring Link 4s. When you resolve Crush Sheep, it's a good feeling because you know you're going to win that game because of the advantage it brings. The other synchro turn it climbs up into. Didn't need too much changes overall in the tournament. Some cards I missed was maybe Avramax or maybe IP, especially Nightmare Unicorn, which would have been the great bridge, you know, the great alternative to help go into the access, get rid of another card. Vicious at 3k, access at 53 is game. Chaos Angel was another one I missed, and I think in hindsight, just because it's more versatile, Unchained use a lot of monster effects, your guys are unaffected. I mean, this with Gimma, they are not getting rid of that board, and again, you don't need a tuner. Post siding, you see more bestials. And so guys, that has been the main deck and extra deck. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments down below. Most of what you've seen is what I've shown on the channel before, but hopefully that Clear New World and Vader Kalanta tech with the Shadows Light at 3 and the Kristya is you know, exciting enough for you guys to try it. That being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.